Hey guys, Kickity back with another video, and today I'm going to be breaking down the MLB slate for Saturday, July 25th. It is a 11-game slate that starts at 1 o'clock. It has a couple 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 4 o'clock games, and it should be a quite solid one. I have a little bit of strategy going into this one, a little bit more than yesterday. Yesterday was not a good day. For me at least, because I faded the Astros, I faded the Dodgers, I faded the Red Sox, and that didn't really work out for me. I did get I got like 3 times the field of Kyle Hendricks, so that worked out a little bit, but I still ultimately lost a decent amount of money yesterday, so that was not really that good, but I hope you guys all did well, and today's a new day, so let's go ahead and jump into this. Before we do, if you guys do enjoy the content, if you get anything out, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter, and then also on Twitter, go ahead and follow my website, or my team's website, if I could find, I had them up here. It's at Tilted DFS. The website looks like this. This is my area. This is my videos from yesterday. We have people who are writing for CSGO, MLB, NBA, NFL, PGA, and UFC, maybe even some hockey soon. So go ahead, check them out. Link to the website is also in the description below. Go check them out. They are a free site. They have some really good articles. We have some really good writers. So go ahead and check them out. All the links will be in the description below. And go ahead, make sure you follow the whole team on Twitter as well. I'll put a bunch of links in the description. Go ahead and show the love. Let's go ahead and jump right into this one, starting off with the Milwaukee and Chicago game. And going into this one, you got Yu Darvish is going to be the most expensive pitcher on this slate, and probably for good reason. Strikes out about 31% of his hitters. The lineup is going to have a bunch of righties, but it's also going to have a bunch of lefties in it. 1, 2, you got 3 out of the first 4 going to be batting lefty. You're going to have a bunch of good bats against Yu Darvish. I feel like Milwaukee could be a sneaky leverage spot to go to. If you look at the ISOs, like Yelich got 377, Hira's got 314, Smoke's got 330, 234. Cannot speak. I feel like the Milwaukee Brewers could be a nice stack to go to, because you are going to be fading Yu Darvish, which I have a feeling is going to be one of the higher owned pitchers on the slate, just because he's the most expensive, and a lot of recency bias or name bias. So Yu Darvish is a pretty popular name. You've seen him a lot last year, so a lot of people who are coming back might remember Yu Darvish and might pick him up. So I'm expecting him to probably get around 20 to 30% ownership. So maybe going the opposite of Milwaukee might be a decent way to go. On the other side, you got who's going for Milwaukee? Corbin Burns, which is normally a relief pitcher. That's who's going to be going for the Milwaukee Brewers today. So honestly, I like both sides for hitting for this game, because Burns is not really a MLB pitcher. I have a feeling he's not going to go that long. He's under DraftKings. He is classified as a relief pitcher. It won't show me the Dodger lineups, whatever. It does have him classified under a relief pitcher, so I'm going to be aiming away from him, probably going to take him out of my player pool altogether. I am going to try to run more of a condensed player pool today and see if that helps me out. I am going to be getting to some Chicago players as well. They're going to be not my highest owned stack, but I am going to get to a little bit of them. Milwaukee, I'm going to get to a little bit more, though, just for the leverage and the upside of being able to go up against the highest priced pitcher. Moving on to the Boston and Baltimore game, if my computer wants to, work. Please. Anyways, last night, the Boston Red Sox won 13-2 against the Baltimore Orioles, and I don't really see anything else. I see Red Sox winning, but I don't see them scoring a crazy amount like they did yesterday. Honestly, I think this is a game that I want to avoid. I don't like any of the pitching in this one. Perez's strikeout rate is not good. He walks a decent amount of. He walks 8.8% of his batters, which is not good. And then the hitting side, not a lot of them look good. He got a couple of them in the 200s for the ISO against left-handed pitchers. It's just not a spot I want to get to on either side. I'm mostly going to be fading this game. But if I am going to get to a little bit of this one, it's going to be on the Boston side. Can my computer just work, please? Thank you. Because you're going to get Cobb on the side of Baltimore, which is not a good pitcher by any stretch of the imagination. Can I get my thing, please? Why did it go back? This is just frustrating. Maybe I just need to save like 6,000 tabs so that... Anyways, I will be going to some Boston players. The Baltimore pitcher of Cobb is not really a spot I want to get to. He is the third cheapest on the slate, and second cheapest on the slate. And I'm just not interested in going that direction. I am going to get to a little bit of the Boston hitters, but I'm mostly going to fade them just because going up against Baltimore, they're probably going to be the chalk. Hey, there we go. They're probably going to be chalk today, along with the Dodgers and the Astros, will be my guess. So I don't mind the Boston Red Sox. I'm just not getting to as much of them, and I am definitely not getting to Cobb. He strikes out about 13.3% of his batters that he faces. Moving on to the Minnesota and Chicago game. Here we jump into the start of the 2 o'clock games. And I like both sides of this game in terms of hitting, and hitting only. We'll start off with the White Sox bats. I don't mind getting to any of the first 6. Chicago is probably going to be one of my higher owned stacks of the day, going up against Dobnak. That's a weird name. Who strikes out 19.5% of batters. So his strikeout rate is not high. I don't really like getting to him. The only upside to starting him is that he's... I can't even see the price. One of the cheapest pitchers on the slate. I'm guessing he's I can't really see. My computer's being stupid. $5,800 for today, which is the only upside to playing him. As a cheap pitcher. I'm probably not going to. I'm probably going to X him out. I'm going to probably have a very dense pitching pool of about 8 pitchers tonight, and none of these pitchers are the one that I'm going to aim against. Nope, I want to look at the Minnesota hitters real quick. On the Minnesota side, it's pretty much the same deal. The Chicago White Sox are throwing out Dallas Keuchel today. And the lefty against a righty-dominated lineup minus 2 players. I definitely like going to the Minnesota Twins against Hede. They're probably going to be another one of my high-owned stacks. All these ISOs are really, really good against left-handed pitchers. 415, 233, 461, 367. I definitely like getting to some Minnesota today, along with some White Sox. Dallas Keuchel, only positive to him and is that he's $6,700. I'm probably not going to get to too much Dallas Keuchel. This is another one that I have a feeling it's going to be like yesterday, where you're going to want to get the hitting, not the pitching. And I do like the Twins more than the White Sox today. Moving on to the St. Louis and Pittsburgh game. Here's where I'm going to get to one of my favorite pitchers of the day, which is Adam Wainwright. Yes, he doesn't strike out that often, but he's going up against the Pittsburgh Pirates, so I have a feeling that he's going to be able to go pretty deep into the game as long as he's able to get his pitch count down. He does only strike out 20%, but I have a feeling that could be a little bit higher today. Not a lot of these pitchers, not a lot of these hitters strike out a lot, but I think he can get a decent amount today. He is 9,200. He's not like my favorite pitcher on the slate. There's a couple guys that I like a little bit more, but I do not mind getting to some Adam Wainwright. I'm probably not going to get to that much Pittsburgh stacks. Probably get to 5-6%, but nothing really that crazy or outrageous. I just prefer to get to the St. Louis side of this one a little bit more, because Pittsburgh is throwing out T. Williams, which is Trevor Williams, who is $5,800. And I have a feeling that the St. Louis Cardinals are going to go a little bit under-owned. Colton Wong, Edman, Goldschmidt, DeYoung, they were all part. A good chunk of this was a part of the winning lineup yesterday, or the second place lineup. The players did score pretty well yesterday in the St. Louis Cardinals win. I don't mind getting to them, even though their numbers are not really the highest. And they strike out a decent amount. But I have a feeling that St. Louis is going to be under the radar, and they're going to go a little bit less owned than we think. Once again, ownership projections are not out yet, so wait until they come out. And if you want to discuss it with me, comment section below or in my Twitter, links in the description below as well. But I don't mind getting to St. Louis hitters. Pittsburgh. Oh wait, I already went with Pittsburgh. But no, I'm not aiming towards Pittsburgh at all. Moving on to the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays. And for this one, I am going to be getting to a decent amount of this game in general. I'm all right with going to some Toronto Blue Jays stacks. I'm not going outrageously crazy on them, but going up against Yarbrough, which actually Yarbrough is one of my higher up pitchers of the day as well. He is 7,300, so there's definitely some upside there. If he pitches a bunch of innings, which he definitely could, I feel like Yarbrough has a shot to try to contend for a Cy Young if he pitches pretty well this year. The only problem with going to a lot of Yarbrough today is the fact that they're playing Toronto. Toronto has a lot of power. I think that Toronto could give them some problems, but I do like the Rays more on this side. Going over to the Rays hitters, the Toronto Blue Jays are throwing out Matt Shoemaker, right-handed pitcher. The lineup for the Tampa Bay Rays is pretty lefty dominated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 out of 9 of their batters are going to be left-handed today, so I think that is a benefit to them. Shoemaker does strike out 22% of the batters he faces, and Tampa Bay does strike out some, but I just don't see myself getting to that much Shoemaker. I feel like there's better options in that price range, including somebody who's slightly higher than him, and I do like another pitcher. I'll tell you my value pitcher when we get to that game, but I do like Tampa Bay in this one. Colorado and Texas, I feel like I want to not go to this game that much at all. Yesterday, their game ended 1-0, but opening day jitters, whatever. Don't really judge it on this game as well, but I don't think this one's going to be high scoring. I don't see myself getting to a bunch. You got Sonny Gray on the mound for Colorado, which is gotta find his price. There's no way he's that low. Colorado, yeah, right here. $8,100 for John Gray going up against the Texas hitters. I don't mind getting to a little bit of Texas stacks. Their ISO is pretty good against right-handed pitchers. They do strike out a decent amount, so maybe getting to a little bit of Sonny Gray is fine. Because some of these, like Gallo is going to strike out at a 39% rate, Odor at 30%, Santana at 28%, and Chanero's at 28%, with also 23%. And so you're going to get some strikeouts in there. So maybe Sonny Gray could be like a under the radar, low owned pitcher that you might want to get to a little bit. But on the other side, for the Colorado hitters, for Texas, you got who's starting today? Mike Minor, which is actually another one of the pitchers I'm aiming towards a little bit. Even though if you look at the Colorado hitters, their ISO is going to be inflated. The only reason is because they play in Coors. Coors is higher altitude, so you're going to get a lot more home runs. Today they are in Texas, which is like the second most friendly hitter-friendly ballpark. So you could definitely get some, but obviously they didn't really show it last night. I don't see myself getting to this one. I think this one's going to be a little bit more owned than people think, so I'm going to actually fade this game most likely and get to other games that I feel like are going to have lower ownership. Moving on, I think we have all the 4 o'clock games. So go on to the Miami and Philadelphia game, which is the only, one of 2 4:05 games. Philadelphia is going to be throwing out Zach Wheeler, which is the second most expensive pitcher on the slate at $10,100. And then the Miami Marlins are going to be throwing out Caleb Smith, which is at $6,900, which I actually quite like in this matchup. I do like Miami. As crazy as that sounds, I like them as a leverage play. I don't think they're going to go crazy owned because Zach Wheeler is the second most expensive pitcher on the slate, minus Yu Darvish. And I think that Zach Wheeler is going to be pretty owned against Miami hitters. So I'm going to try and get to a little bit more of Miami stacks to try to gain leverage on the field that way. I don't mind getting to any of the first 6 batters. Yes, their stats are not that good, and Zach Wheeler is a good pitcher. He just signed a big deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. I feel like Miami's going to be able to spoil his Phillies debut, and I do think Miami could get a win today and put up some runs against Zach Wheeler. Caleb Smith is actually my favorite cheap option for pitchers today. I don't know why, but I just don't like Philadelphia today. I have a feeling that you're going to see Caleb Smith. He's got a 26% K rate. I just like Miami today. Yes, all these ISOs are pretty high against left-handed pitchers. I'm going to get a little bit of Philadelphia. Don't get me wrong, I'm not full fading them, but I'm not getting a crazy ton of them. I just prefer the Miami side for the leverage spot on today's slate. And for this next one is also another leverage play that I want to get to more, and that will be from the New York Mets side. The Mets are starting Steven Matz at $7,200. Another play that is cheap that I really like. Him, Caleb Smith, and Yarbrough are going to be my favorite low-priced options of the day. I'm going to be getting to a decent amount of all 3. And quite frankly, I'm going to get to a lot of Mets today. I feel like they're going to go under-owned because they're going up against the Atlanta Braves, who are throwing out Max Fried. Wow, I cannot speak this morning. I'm sorry. But the power on the Mets bats, yeah, they didn't show it yesterday, obviously. But I just think that the Mets are going to be able to pull off something nice today and actually show their power like they did not yesterday against Mike Soroka, which was the ace of Atlanta. So I'm definitely getting some Mets into my lineups. On the other side, Atlanta, I'm going to get to a little bit of, but I do like Steven Matz more. I do like going to Acuna as a one-off, Freeman as a one-off, Ozuna as a one-off. I'll get to some stacks of Atlanta, but I'm not going overboard crazy on it, just because I want to get to more of the Mets side, where I feel like the players are going to be anywhere from 2 to 5% owned, and I feel like we're going to try to gain leverage on the field that way. 3 games left. Let's go to the Dodgers and the Giants, where I am going to be fading this game again. Last night, it bit me in the ass because Max Muncy hit 2 home runs, and I didn't get to a lot of that game, but today, fading it again, and if they hit again, whatever. I'm going to get like 3-4% Dodgers stacks, so I'm trying to fade the chalk so that if the chalk does not succeed, I'm going to be in a very, very good position. That being said, I do not like the Giants. Wood is too good of a pitcher. He's only 7,800, so that's another decent value option. If I was going to get to anybody from the Dodgers, it'd probably be Wood. The ISO for the Giants against left-handed pitchers is pretty high, but they have a very small sample, and they're just not a good team. I have a feeling Alex Wood is going to roll all over them. He only strikes out about 20% of his batters, but it's the Giants, and I feel like the Dodgers should be able to take care of them handily. Even though I am fading the Dodgers, I think they are a good stack. I'm fading them because of ownership. Yeah, if you see all green here, especially going up against Jeff Samardzija, which is an awful pitcher. So hopefully this doesn't bite me in the ass. I'll still get to about 3-4% Dodgers. I'm just fading them because they should be pretty high owned going up against Jeff Samardzija, who is... what's his price at? Did they not have his price? So they have Guzman in. For some reason, they have Guzman going for the... So that's a little bit off. They had him going yesterday. So Guzman, same deal. I'm going to fade this game just because of ownership. If you want to get to it, go ahead. I'm fading it. Moving on to the Dodgers and the... Angels and the Oakland game. And I quite like this game. This game did not fail to... entertain last night. Olsen with a grand slam to end the game was pretty fun to watch. I saw one guy in one of the bigger tournaments. All he needed was Olsen not to grand slam, and he would have won. And then he ended up dropping to second place in that one. So that was kind of funny to watch. But I like both sides of this game. Oakland, their hitters are. I like the Oakland bats today. Simeon, Laureano, Chapman, Olsen, and Davis are all good options along with Kana. I'm going to get to a decent amount. I'm not going to get to much Bundy, even though he is sitting at 7,700. I just like more options in that area, like Wood, Yarborough, Matz, and Caleb Smith. So I'm not really going to get to as much of Bundy. Plus, I like the bats in this game. Angels, I like all the bats besides Oshani. Oshani's still classified as a starting pitcher, so do not have him in any of your lineups. That's going to mess with it, so X him out entirely. I'm going to get to a little bit of the Angels just because it's a leverage play, and I feel like Oakland Angels are going to go a little bit lower owned because their pitcher is the third highest priced on the slate at 10K. So I do like the bats in this one, not so much the pitching, fading the third highest priced pitcher of the day. Last final game of this video will be the Houston Astros and the Seattle Mariners. And in this game, I am fading. I do not like the Seattle Mariners, and I am fading Houston because of for leverage, essentially. The only player that I really want to get to from Houston at a higher clip would be McCullers at 8,500, just because I feel like he's going to have definitely a win upside. There is not a lot of information on him, so I feel like he's going to be misrepresented, and I feel like he's going to be under-owned. So I do want to get to a little bit of him, and the hitting on Seattle is awful. Houston hitters are good. Don't get me wrong. The only reason why I'm fading them is because of leverage, and I am still going to get to about 4 or 5% of them. I'm just not going to get a crazy amount like the field will. All these players will probably be around 10 to 15% owned each. I could see Springer, Altuve, Bregman, Brantley, all of them probably around 10 to 15% each. That's just a spot that I want to fade on today's slate. So going over, my favorite plays on today's slate will be Milwaukee. It will be that Minnesota-Chicago game, Tampa Bay, Miami, Oakland and LA game, and the Mets. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you got anything out of it, make sure to like, subscribe if you're new, follow the website, look at the website, read all the articles. A lot of good stuff there. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.